There's a graphic going around on guess where each of these starting fives came from with the Sweet 16 teams. I think it was CBK Report who originally put it together, but if I'm misattributing this to somebody, I apologize. But basically, there's a logo just lined up. There's 16 columns and five logos based on the five players in your starting lineup where they started their college careers because all these teams are just completely transfer built and it's listed out, and it just kind of shows how crazy it is, how much the transfer portal and NIL has changed the game of college basketball. But it also turned into like a fun guessing game of like which team is this. I had fun kind of working through it. Along the way, it was very obvious a couple, Michigan State and Purdue, were pretty obviously apparently them because they don't start a bunch of transfers. They start guys that started their careers at their school. And I believe it was Cobra Stats. Shout out to Cobra Stats, one of the best little infographic slash research accounts that there is in college hoops, always coming with good Purdue content at all times. Uh, Noted that Purdue is the only school in the Sweet 16 that the top eight players in their rotation all started at Purdue. And this obviously went viral amongst Purdue circles of a point of pride that, hey, how look how unique this is compared to everybody else in the sport right now. What do you make of that? Is that an impressive feat that Purdue is the only school in the Sweet 16 whose primary eight-man rotation started and may end their careers at Purdue?
I think it's super dope. I think it's super dope because it's not just that they started their careers at Purdue. If you look at TKR, you look at Braden Smith, they've had so much success within their careers. If they wanted to leave and go bag chasing, they absolutely could, right? And I think that's what is even more impressive about it is the loyalty they have to paint. What paint has to offer them exceeds any financial compensation they could receive. It honestly exceeds playing at a blue blood as well, right? Because I mean, Izzo's kind of doing the same thing with Michigan State. Michigan State really doesn't have eight players that started there.
No, because Fiddler and Zapala.
Oh,
Yeah, Zapala came from Longwood.
okay, okay. Um, But I mean, still, like Michigan State's like a blue blood with Ishbia money as well. So like, if you have success at Michigan State, you can be compensated, and you're playing at one of the biggest schools in the country. Purdue's not necessarily a blue blood, and they're not known. I mean, I know Braden Smith makes a lot of money, but they're not known for like dropping crazy bags. Definitely not dropping bags. Before you show that you're worth it. So I think it just goes to show what culture that paint's building out there. It's everything Purdue fans try to tell us throughout the year in one graphic. So I mean, ultimately, like Purdue fans, it's just another reason you guys have been correct this whole time. And honestly, I mean, hopefully Paint's able to get one over the hump for you guys.
It is wildly impressive. It is wildly impressive because you are not supposed to build your roster this way. And look, I'm coming from a standpoint where I don't want to compare the two because it's completely different. The portal really changed the game. But I feel like I watched my Michigan program for a decade operate under John Beeline in a way that felt very proud of being different than everybody else. Like Michigan was not a bag dropping school. Michigan was a development school. It was, we are going to pluck three-star recruits and turn them into NBA players. And we're going to be damn proud of the fact that we do that. And if you want to come and be a one and done, don't even consider our school because that's not what we do. Purdue, I think, in a much more drastic way, is sort of standing up to the idea that you have to play the market to build a good college basketball team. Painter's been very upfront about that. We've criticized him at times for maybe not finding the middle ground because, as I've said a bazillion times, you don't have to do one or the other. You can be a team that's 80% guys you recruited out of high school and developed and stood by and did right by, and maybe just plug the gaps and help those guys out a little bit with a few additional members. That's what Purdue is likely to do next season, by the way. That's what Purdue did last season when they made a national title run. It's what Michigan State did last summer. They got two guys that helped them. Like, that's sort of the smart move, and a move that doesn't mean you're giving up on your culture if you do that. So at this moment in time, it makes Purdue look like a complete one of one. Oh my God, we needed no transfers to make a Sweet 16. And I think that is something they should be proud of. And the point I like most of you in your response to this was it's one thing to say this is how they build a roster, it's more impressive from a player retainment standpoint. because those 8 guys, many of them have gotten so damn good. TKR to go from what he was as a freshman to what he is now. Braden Smith, who he was as a true freshman, to what he is now. These are guys that could go get $2 million from another school. They're still rocking Purdue. They're still winning games at Purdue. They're back in a Sweet 16. That's what makes that most impressive to me.
Yeah, and he didn't piss anybody off, right? Because like even if you look at Michigan State's roster, it's a phenomenal season. It's very, it's probably the closest thing to what Purdue's building as well. If you're Xavier Booker, you're probably a little upset. You know what I mean? There's probably a couple guys on that team that are like, "Hey, I came here to play, and I came here to start, and I came here to be league bound, and I'm not yet." You don't really see that with Purdue, and I don't think any like the way he forms a roster um, the way he builds his rotation, I don't think anyone has like underwhelming minutes or underwhelming rotation spots. If anything, you have guys like CJ Cox who probably weren't expecting to play as much as they are. I think he does kind of the complete opposite, kind of what you see from some of these other teams. And it's just a testament to Paint. It's a testament to the culture he builds, and it's a testament um, to the commitment level he gets from these guys before they ever step foot on campus.
Yeah. Yep. It's impressive as hell. Good luck to Purdue because the further you go in this tournament, the more impressive this feat becomes.
It is March, and that means that March Madness is upon us. And if you are looking for a place to play, Underdog Fantasy has you covered. Sign up and deposit using code SLEEPERS, that's code SLEEPERS, to receive up to $1,000 in bonus credit plus a free pick. Head over to Underdog Fantasy today and use promo code SLEEPERS to take advantage of this amazing offer.